Type 7, the joyful person. Being in the thinking triad, 7s plan for pleasurable experiences, possibilities, and plans to make anything more exciting. 7s are motivated to have many options and hence not limited by choice. They relish in the freedom they've to be, do, and have all that is possible in a world where there are limitless possibilities. The 7s are joyful fun seekers, optimistic and cheerful. They spread joy, happiness, and inspire others to notice the rainbows and butterflies, basically the possibilities in life. They can turn the mundane into magical moments. 7s are often multitaskers who love engaging in many activities at the same time and avoid situations that may result in boredom or stress. Stress at work or in relationships are the areas of avoidance. Who needs stress when you can have joy is a typical mantra they can identify with. When restrictions are placed on them and freedom is curtailed, they escape and flutter into activities that can distract them. The consequences of this is the 7 can live in a bubble and avoid realities of having a multitude of experiences that manifest true color, depth, connection, and empathy. Well, in the early childhood of a 7, the type 7 child was left to her own devices, usually given much less attention, and the response was to distract or occupy themselves with no lack of stimulation to distract them from the pain and loneliness. They found a way to entertain themselves when it was uncomfortable and preferred this stimulation while being alone and away from the discipline, rules, and inhibitions that would have potentially put a stop on their freedom and joy to do anything they chose. They also had a preference for positive options, those that brought happiness and excitement to fulfill their desires and gain a sense of the world around them. This seeking for what works, staying optimistic, and an avoidance of discipline that might inhibit their motivation soon became a part of their psyche. Those who rain on their parade can simply be avoided, knowing that they can turn elsewhere. 7s grow up dreaming of the freedom they'll have when they reach their teens or young adulthood. Some of the strengths of the 7, well, 7s are reputed to be the most optimistic, not allowing a difficult day to bring them down. They're quick to reframe, and though they can recall sadness and pain, the labels placed on such memories makes it seem like a passing cloud. 7s love a good time and remain childlike because of their enthusiasm, excitable and free-spirited nature. They are likely to be the life of a party and probably the loudest, though this isn't always the case. They can be outspoken, spontaneous with their ideas, stimulated by their childlike energy. They don't refrain from letting others know how different some of their thoughts are from the rest. They are the best brainstormers with a Disney-like mind where there are no holds barred. They have a vivid imagination which keeps them playful on the inside, hence the outside. They are pleasers in many ways, generous and kind in their comments of others, and consistently want to bring cheer to others who can't seem to feel the feelings they do. They just want to make the world a much happier place. With optimism, 7s take it further by believing in themselves and others through their strong risk appetite and living in the moment. This attitude allows them to exhibit a keenness for entrepreneurship since they create the rules of engagement and the hunger to start new projects with creative energy. They are multitaskers and have such varied interests and abilities which they display through involvement in multiple events which pack up their schedule. They will avoid boredom at all costs. Some limitations of the 7s, well, 7s want to be stimulated by excitement quite persistently, or at least be in a space that affords them happiness. This sometimes leaves them judgmental when they are in encounters which are slow-moving or require patience. If in the company of people who may not offer the stimulation they crave for, their mind starts to focus on how to enliven the energy around them. This creates the kind of distraction that causes them to lose presence and attention. They are great starters of projects since they enjoy new experiences, but when the mind goes into overdrive with detailed analysis which could get boring, they may begin to defocus. They can be guilty of ditching something which they are bored of. Some 7s find it difficult to come home from Disneyland, and that is get back to the grind and formulate structure and deep planning which will require focused attention. They have a tendency to be ungrounded, preferring the big picture and lofty goals and fantasies. Since they feel restricted by doing repetitive things, 7s may find it inhibiting to be in a committed relationship unless their partner gives them the freedom they desire. If they are in a relationship with an understanding partner who accepts their need for freedom, they will continue quite pretty well in a long-term relationship. Sevens may not experience true joy if they avoid some of the painful experiences in their life. Whatever you avoid comes crawling back, and there will certainly be painful moments. This avoidance of anger and sadness especially stifles their emotional growth and leaves them sometimes quite unrealistic in their expectations of others. There is a kind of impatience with others' outbursts. Reflections for sevens? Well, try to establish when you are feeling bored. What feelings are you masking? Fear or anxiety? Your habit of escaping and finding something more interesting gives you a clue as to what you're avoiding. Allow yourself to experience pain and joy fully, and in doing so, you can make your joy more meaningful and real. To experience joy, you must know what pain feels like. Learn to develop ideas fully. All you need is a little more patience to push through more thoroughly in any undertaking, and you will really receive the respect you deserve. Otherwise, you can come across as superficial and shallow. Develop the ability to focus mentally on something for longer periods and stay with painful emotions. It will certainly nurture greater patience and an acceptance of whatever happens. Learn to spread your joy without pushing others to feel the same, because not everyone feels the way you do. Accept that others are not as hopeful or optimistic with everything in life.